Alright, we're recording it. Hopefully we don't waste a bunch of minutes waiting for it to go to YouTube. If it does go, it does. If it don't, it don't. I may just give up. It seems to connect to the old interface now versus the new one, the one that they tell me I have to use. Each time I send a video, try to use the new one, and it goes to the old interface. My channel's on hold with Restream, and it won't stream. Go figure. Alright, so we're going to close that. We're going to assume that it's good and close this tab out. And just monitor on Restream. Hey guys, gals, welcome back. Some more funny business. Alright, we'll try and make use of the Sony camera as best as we can. Looking at what we're looking at here, what we can see part of is a television. Better yet, let's get this camera back in the shot. And what we're looking at here, that is the coax connector, and that don't go there. That belongs over there, way over there. Actually, yeah, here is the coax connector, so now you can see it. Yeah, I forgot to switch the camera. Give me a break. Yeah, so this isn't supposed to be loose. We're going to see what we can do about possibly putting it back where it goes. And yeah, we'll have some fun with that. For now, we have a few feet to take out. So we're going to go ahead and work on those after we get the feet taken out, which you can't see. We will be able to spin the TV around to our working area. Okay, so we have to apparently either unwind a ton more screw got one, and two. So this is a Vizio V435-G0. And let's take a second look here. Here's the foot we had to take out. It was pressed up in the bottom of the TV, 2 screws securing it. One half of the standing mechanism for this thing. We have to pull the other one off, and then we'll move on to hopefully getting the coax connector back on this. Alright, 3. We're almost there. Almost there, people. And 4 stubborn screws. Get a magnet, extension magnet, some type of magnet out of a hard drive. Throw it on the shaft of your screwdriver, and it should help you pick up stubborn screws. An odd way, but kind of 2 of the same part, which ends up being a cheap way to manufacture stuff. You make it the same and then just reverse it. Boy, I wonder if the TV would even stand. Can you put them in the opposite way, or are they keyed? Okay, nope, they are keyed. So you can't. They actually made it so you can't reverse them like that. They have to go on opposite ends with the feet kicked outward versus inward. But that's okay. Yeah, definitely a cheaper way of manufacturing. It is the same foot, identical part. One of the ways that get you that TV for the price that you pay for it. Okay, now let's go for the turn to get our area more so under camera. We have a lot of screws to take out. We need to gain access to this area here in general. Let's look at the size of the TV quick. This is what you're seeing. Where are you seeing it? You're seeing here. So you're not even seeing half of the TV. Looks like the vase mount's even either bent or loose on this one, so that's another thing to look at. I'm going to try a different driver. Not being very favorable at picking these screws up out of here. So 5 screws from that row, should be another 4 or 5, the one around the I/O, and then possibly 5 more across the bottom, so about 10 to 12 more, and we should be getting close. Unless the bottom has none. chat is up. I just don't have YouTube up, but the chat is there. I think I can reply and restream, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at what we missed. One? Hopefully only one or two. Alright, none on the bottom to speak of. We have the ones out for the feet. We have one, possibly two, one it looks like, around our back I/O. None except the one here for our side I/O. The side I/O is where we need to be, but we need to see how this thing is going to come apart. Hopefully it's not a TV where you pop the back off, or pop off the front bezel, and then everything dumps out of it. Hopefully it's one where that's even better, where the bottom lifts off. What are we sticking on? Okay, finally. And we upon opening this, what are we stuck on? So we can't actually lift our shield off. We can lift it up. Okay, so it is tape. Tape should let us lift it the rest of the way, yes. And then we can unplug two connectors from the board. Alright, let's take a look at this television now. When getting inside one of these TVs, there's some things to take note of. And do they have this one split to where you can see it? Primary, secondary, yeah. Okay, so generally you have a primary, secondary, or a hot and cold side, and it looks like they actually have two. Normally there's two boards. You have your TCOM board, and then you have your power board, and then your audio video board, but they have the power audio video board combined into one. So this is probably, instead of a $30–40 part, this is probably going to be like $75–80. Just guessing. I didn't look it up or anything. Whereas if it was split in two, you would split the cost amongst the two. But if you look in your general power supply area, which would be this area here, you can usually see a primary and secondary, or a hot and cold side. The cold side is much safer to work on, whereas the hot side may still hold juice, so you want to discharge anything before working on that. But we don't need to be in that area. Same board, but we're going to be over here. Another thing, careful. If you were prying along the bottom of any TV or the top, you never know if these are going to be exposed. These little cables, you put any kind of little crack, rip, anything in those, and yeah, you're done for. You're going to have to get a new part, new panel. Those do connect to the screen itself, so it's not going to be a cheap little part. But let's see what we can make out of this here. iPhone, you're getting silenced. I fixed you. But sorry. You need silenced. Okay, so this is some sort of smart TV. It does have Wi-Fi in it. Bluetooth, I don't know, but we do at least have Wi-Fi, and you can see the antennas. One going out to each side, hopefully to get the same amount of long Wi-Fi antenna. That's like, what, 3 foot this antenna runs down. Alright, we need this black board out of the way, which is part of the chassis of the TV, so we're going to have to keep disconnecting some stuff. Boy, that's a really weird way to route that, but okay. I hate cloth tape. Yeah, okay, we're going to leave that. It wants to pull the whole jack off the board, so we'll let that wire hang. Should not be too tough to remember, but just in case, we're going to put black dot and a silver dot where our actual antennas go. Pick one of these up if you ever have a chance. Get one of the silver, the gold, bronze, brass, whatever color they make. Sharpies, they're great for marking stuff. We should be just about free. Careful around capacitors, anything on the primary or hot side. It's not really the like up an old cathode ray or cathode whatever CRT, cathode ray tube TV. I had to think about it, CRT for a moment there, right? Cathode ray tube. Not like open one of those, but they're still may get a little jolt, damage some other stuff. What are we missing? The ones around the plug. Slightly longer. Yeah, let's go ahead and see what. Oh, very nice. Alright, moving on. Let's get this out of our way. Alright, it is close to that time. Trusty black mat. Let's do two. What was that? Glass? Still stuck. Alright, so here give our Sony some time. You can see that that has been twisted pretty bad. Ideally, we would get a new socket and solder it in there, a whole new socket. And I don't see it connecting back very easily. I see putting a new one in, yes, but connecting it back, no. Let's take a moment and try and find this actual part. And here's kind of the problem that exists. This broke loose from there and also ripped loose from the actual board. I could see attempting to put that back, but I just don't see that it's going to hold and not just break loose immediately. What do we have? How many pins on this unit? A bunch? Yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. At minimum, we have 15 pins to desolder off of that connector. Unless the one under it is not connected, which that appears to be the case. It did rip out of the board. Did they really? Is that just epoxy or possibly solder? I'm going to say direct replacement on the board is the path to go. Let's spend a moment and see if we can do a repeat of yesterday, find the part we need. I guess we didn't actually find it. The part is ordered. The display cable on that laptop is actually bad. I did take the nuisance amount of time that it takes to unravel that cloth tape on the bad portion of the cable, and there were two wires completely broken, and another one ready to break. As soon as I touched it, it fell in two pieces. So there's 3 broken wires internally. The one wire is the one on the laptop that lit up the backlight. Another one was one of the signal wires for the picture. And the third one, I didn't find out what it was. Boy, that's a big number. DTB S20 CIH. DTB S20. V435-G0. $94.26. Okay, more info is clearly not going to get us a result. And the last part, let's try 098 106 1380. Of course, no results. Is there a part number anywhere else? Maybe not with my eyes, but let's find out. There is a number there, I just don't know that we're going to read it. LEC 2201. I was getting many reflections. So upon trying to read the end of this little box, I was getting reflections of different colors, making it near impossible to read. And once you throw a different color in there, it's the same color, and a different color from the box, it makes it easy to read. So, what did I say? Again, I have to look all over. LEC 2201. Let's try and find that part. Yeah, not it. Okay. Not it. Here's my results from looking up the LEC 2201. Oh, so with the typo I did get something goofy. Alright, so next. Short of tearing that off, short of tearing this off of the board, and we have no other part numbers listed. Yeah, I can't in good faith reattach that See, the other thing, here's the other thing I'm worried about. When you rip something out that is through-hole soldered, take for example any of these capacitors. These have legs that go all the way through all the layers of this PCB. When you have something that goes through the PCB and rip it out, it usually brings, if not the trace, at least the pad with it. And this has, if not both, at least one of the pads and the like little through hole. It's kind of like a bushing, very tiny bushing that fits into the hole that lets that pad connect to whatever traces, if there's any layers in the board that need to connect to it, or on the opposite side or the top side, it'll go through, and that's what lets it all connect. It ripped the one out completely, so I don't see that being easily repairable. I see the next best option is replacing this board. Let's find a board. We can try stickers, is one of the preferred ways. Other than that, another one is finding an actual number stamped on the board. Okay, here we go. First thing that I think we should attempt. You know what? We have a PCB out. I want to see. I'm curious. I have here. I don't have a way to hook it up. But what I do have is a polarizer filter here. Will this cut glare off of the PCB? I just don't see it happening. Maybe. I mean, was that my hand blocking the light, or... Yeah, I don't think it's going to cut the glare, so experiment over. Right there is our culprit. We will find a way to take a look at that, hopefully. It's resumed all the way, and right there is kind of what we were going for. Let's hold this steady. That rectangle right above where you see the process flow wave solder with the right pointing arrow. We got that V435-G0 MT5597, it looks like. Yeah. Let's take a look on the line for this board. MT what? 5597. Okay. So, the combined boards, I was completely 100% wrong. Maybe combining them made it cheaper. Possibly. Open box condition. Guaranteed to work. If you have any issues, please contact us immediately. So they're guaranteeing it. Not quite the description I was hoping for, but okay. Okay. That is, just comparing real quick, that is our, no. Is it not? That's not our board. PC 768, so there's another number that we're missing. It's close. It's, how do we do this? Where is it? Alright, so there's what we're looking at. We'll put them in the same orientation. Slightly different. There's the glare gone. We'll let it readjust. You can see the actual yellow box is in a different position. Wow, what else? So it's in a different position. The plug is roughly in the same one. They may be the same width. I didn't even take a shot and look at the ports, I/O ports up and down this side to see that they compare to the other one. So we need to look further for a closer compatible board. 643, it's not that one. PC 768. Let's continue the hunt. We need more information. If they have that PC 768 or whatever it is, do we not also have that info somewhere here? So this TV is barely a year old, and the coax cable ripped out. I don't know if that happened trying to tighten it or trying to unloosen it. But yeah, not good, not good. I am not seeing this additional number that they have listed there. I do have some giant part numbers that I could try. I don't know if that'll relate to the same side or not, or to the whole board, or to individual parts of the board. I'm not seeing this extra info, whereas our result that we were looking at had the PC768 or whatever number. This one has nothing about like PCB size. 290 by 160. Pre-owned. Pre-owned. Guys and gals, boys and girls. But a much closer, much more comparable board, I'm gonna say. Let's take a look at these. Give me a minute here. Alright. Up and down makes sense now. That is what we're looking at. Everything looks roughly the same at first glance. I would compare much more. It's not that interesting. So we're going to go ahead and we got the screen pulled up. Let's turn that off and mouse over to enlarge. So let's look at the board. We have the AC plug, Ethernet port, red, white, digital audio, red, white, yellow, coax, 3 HDMI, the USB port. On this side we've got the capacitor, resistors, diodes, the yellow thing that's covered up. What is that? Transformer. All the capacitors there. Another transformer. Yeah. It's not new, it is pre-owned. The important part of that pre-owned, I'm going to say, is that little coax sticking out there. It's not broken. Not loose. $20. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, yeah. I don't have faith that anything done to this. Like I said, the pad that the center pin for the coax connects to is ripped out of the. There's a little underneath this metal shield. There's a little PCB under there that you have, I think, 11 pins or more. These 11 pins here are soldered down, then the PCB comes across and connects, or maybe it's just held by that metal in that area. But there is a PCB in there, not this PCB. There's one under this shield above this that this goes in and plugs into. You can actually feel it. Yeah. No faith in taking that out is going to do anything. However, we'll see about getting a whole new board. I'm going to continue off air versus getting the board. I would love to find just this part to see what that would cost, if that's even something that's doable. But yeah. We found the problem. Not easily repairable, I'm going to say. I don't have any of the tools for clamping the little replacement pads back in place. It's kind of like a... I don't know what the tool's called, but it's for doing PCB repair. I don't have one. It kind of reminds you of something like for working with pop rivets or whatnot. Not gonna happen. Anyhow, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put everything back together that we can. Thanks for coming over, hanging out, checking this one out. Instead of throwing that old stuff out, try to fix it. Try to get it fixed. Learn about this stuff. If this is, go back up. Thank you. If this is your thing, you're into it, share it with somebody, give them a hand, help fix something rather than grabbing a new one. There's only so much room for all this crap that isn't being recycled. I think room for people's more better used than storing broken electronics. TVs are pretty big. I don't know any place that recycles those, but you can't know everything, can you now? Flat Earth Santa would know. Just ask him. Anyhow, thank you for clicking the link, coming over, hanging out. Like this, share this, help get it out there. And we'll be back with something again tomorrow in the day. Not always fun, not always solvable in the same stream. Two-parters bum me out, but then again, I kind of like them sometimes. It's kind of both. They're fun and they're not fun. This one I was hoping was resolvable. Really, before getting this board out and being able to see it, it really looked like it was fixable. It did. Upon getting the board out, I mean, maybe somebody could repair it. I know one thing, I don't want to do any damage further to the board or this component. Maybe after we have a replacement working board here, and this has become scrap, or for parts, capacitors, resistors, whatever, we'll try and pull that out and fix it as an experiment to see. But I don't have the capability, I don't think, or the tools, but we'll give it a shot. Anyhow, have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Thank you as always for hanging out. We got a TV to put together. It's going home soon, hopefully. I can go now, right? I'll put it back together, but I can go as soon as it's together, right? Thank you.